Now you should be able to hear me.
I
Haha.
can hear you now.
Alright. Yes,
I
it
can hear
was
you now.
because I changed the microphone from player to player. I forgot to change mine also. Because I have a different source.
Yeah.
Alright, so sorry.
All
All
right,
right.
all this
So
sounds
sorry
good.
for everyone who was listening. We had a whole lot of problems with different components. I had to rebuild the entire overlay, and this resulted in a lot of problem with image, sound, and well, hopefully I managed to partially fix the desync problem. But if not, I am so sorry. I will keep working at it if I see there is more of a desync problem. Um, so, for those joining us again from before, you will probably have already noticed that we have two new players. Two players got replaced, and one actually right now it has a still frame. That's because his camera is really not working well. So for when it's down, there is a lovely picture of him. We hopefully his sound will not cut out. If the image ever stabilizes, the image will become live again. Otherwise, well, you have this still picture of him to watch. Um, for those who watched from before, well, welcome back. It's a pleasure to have you with us again. For those who might be joining us because of all of the advertisement that I tried to do, don't worry. I made sure that most of what you absolutely needed to know will be covered in this episode, and I modified the development of the story for the next maybe 2 or 3 episodes so you would get all the important information. Um, and we will cover very briefly what happened in the last few days for Valtari and audience. As you can see, they are still among us, with us, and the adventure starts only but a few days after the last episode. So, for those who would like to watch the first 18 episode, you can always catch up on our YouTube page and on our Patreon page, where I post all of the episode we've had, and also on our Patreon page you can get more information about special things about this world, since it's a homebrewed world. I know I promised to place the last race we encountered, but because of all the problems, I haven't had time to completely finish editing the text that I wanted to post. So it will most likely be done during the week. I believe this is everything I want to say. So take a seat, make yourself comfortable, and we hope you will enjoy this episode during these trying times that probably everyone who is going to be watching will have faced during this time. And I'm talking about this virus spreading throughout the world. All right, so on our last episode, Valtari audience, accompanied by Trevor the wizard and Tobiashi the monk, found themselves traveling with a caravan of Sharoons, which, unfortunately for Trevor, needed to stop because they're a trading caravan, so they need to sell off their ware. Fortunately, Trevor decided that he couldn't wait. He had abundantly made it clear that he couldn't wait anymore during the last few episodes, and so he decided to just move along. Fortunately, he did without telling the rest of the group and taking the cart that the group had with him. So Tobiyashi, waking up very early, decided to chase after him and try and reason with him. In the days that followed, Valtteri and audience decided to trust Tobiyashi. Unfortunately, once they made their way to the city of Tolteran, they found their cart empty and with someone trying to sell it. They investigated the matter throughout the city. They almost found themselves thrown in prison, killed by guards. They didn't make a very good impression on the law, on the authorities of the city, but they did manage to learn that Tobiyashi and Trevor had been captured by the cult of the Hunter God. And so, with a heavy heart, at least for Tobiyashi, because Trevor made less and less friends in the group, but everyone still liked Tobiyashi, so with a heavy heart, audience and Valtteri admitted that they didn't have the necessary resource to find and help Tobiyashi, and they would have to leave this problem for later. Hopefully, even find allies in the gathering of the garden to help them find their missing friend. And so this catches up with what happened for Valtteri and audience. As for our new friend, which you can already read, are named Fisher and Eldon, they have lived a very similar experience as Valtteri and audience did, while they were busy doing their own things in their lives. They were greeted by a mysterious stranger dressed in black robes and a black cloak. They handed them a letter, which was an invitation to a gathering in a place called the Garden. For those who might want to refresh their memory about what this is, or because they weren't there when this happened, the letter read as follows. Your skill and potential have been noticed by some of the patrons of our expedition. For this reason, you are being invited to join in a gathering of equally skilled individuals. The gathering will be held 5 miles north of the village of Grass Hill on the day of the solstice of light. In this letter, you will find a coin. Be sure to have it with you when you reach the gathering. With regards, the keeper of the garden. And so, with this letter in hand, they both found themselves making the journey toward the garden. Like Valtteri and audience, the day after they received this letter, they both had a very unique dream about being inside a large room surrounded by a crowd of people. People from all over, from all walks of life and of themselves, different profession. They listened to a muffled speech from an individual very similar to the one who handed them their letter. And when the speech was over, a door opened behind this mysterious figure, and they rushed inside a vault-like room, searching for an object calling them. And just like Valtteri and audience, when they were about to take the object to watch it closely, they woke up with the very intimate feeling that this dream was related to the letter they had. And so with this greater motivation, they hurried up and tried to make the gathering in time. And as we begin this episode, we find Valtari and audience preparing themselves to leave the city of Tolteran. After bidding goodbye to their new Shirun friends, audience receiving a gift, which you never told me if you accepted or refused.
Oh, I did accept. I'm sorry.
All right. So, audience received a beautiful drawing made by one of the Shirun from a story he had told during the night, actually 3 nights before, about the dragons. Because what else would audience talk about? And so, when morning came, they prepared, took their belongings, and decided to leave the city of Tolteran. The very same day, but a few minutes before audience and Valtari reach the northern edge of the city, we find Eldon. And, well, Eldon, as the camera slowly lowers itself on you inside a small cart, accompanied by a woman with most likely an elven origin, but from a long time ago, and a tall and mysterious warforged accompanying her. Would you mind giving us a description of what we see sitting in the back portion of the cart?
What you see is about a 3'0" halfling. Black hair, kind of gritty looking, but always with a smile. His clothes hint at like fancy attire that could just pass by, but also in darker shades to just blend in.
All right. So you're sitting inside this cart with your new friends that you've been traveling with for almost 2 days now. And just as you are leaving this town, you notice at the limit of your vision from behind the cart, 2 persons seems to be following you. And strangely enough, they feel familiar because they look like the person described to you by one of the city guards, involved in lengthy question, a very long questioning process, which almost ended very poorly for them, following you from less than 500 or 600 feet behind the cart.
Okay. I'll sit on the edge of the cart and just watch them.
Alright, and so Valtari and audience, as you are leaving the city, slowly making your way, you notice maybe 500 or 600 feet ahead of you there is a cart with a halfling sitting at the back of the cart, watching all of you patiently. The cart is moving at a normal pace, so it is most likely either someone trying to go to another town or village to sell something, or someone just traveling in a group. How do you react to this? They seem to be going at a normal pace, but exactly in the same direction as you.
I will turn to Valtteri and be like, should we try and catch up to the cart or hang back for a bit?
Would it be awkward if we would just run it Cool. I mean, well, we actually did that before. um, I mean, we could ask if they wanted, if they could take us with them.
They have a cart. We'd make
could
better
ask.
time.
Yeah.
All right, let's go try and catch up with them. Quicken my pace.
All right. So, Eldon, as you watch this strange spectacle of a dragonborn followed by a tiefling, you see them quickening their pace and slowly catching up to the cart. Right now, you don't believe that your women companion has realized they're there, but you are getting to be a bit familiar with how the other your construct friend keeps aware of everything. So you are pretty sure he most likely saw it, but for now is not reacting to it.
Well, it kind of looks like we're about to have guests here, friends.
So I just have it here to not say anything. All right. So, well, as you say this, you see Iselina look behind her and says, and what are your impressions on this? And she turns toward the Warforged beside her and says, Civ, he barely moves, just looks behind him, says, they don't sorry, they don't seem to be very aggressive. Eldon, you're used to this, but Civ talks with a very cold and almost metallic voice, which is one of the reasons why you were why it was so easy to identify that he was a construct. However, the way he talks, it is also very apparent that he is a self-aware construct.
Okay.
So he simply looks slightly behind, so they don't seem to be very aggressive.
My thoughts exactly. They might just want to travel with us, you know. More numbers.
He simply just, He turns toward Iselina, who says, if both of you think they're mostly harmless, I don't mind just slowing a bit down. We could let them catch up, but
yeah.
But just to make sure, stay alert.
Oh, I'm a very light sleeper.
All right.
So are you, Civ, right?
He slightly turns his head toward you, doesn't answer to this. You've come to know that this is not... He's not dismissing what you just said. He is just silently approving what you just said.
Yep.
He is really not the talkative type. As I've told you, you can easily, by watching his eyes, tell that he has seen the stuff that nightmares are made of come to life. And he is extremely seasoned. So...
I can still try.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I wouldn't expect it any other way.
We'll start slowing down the horses.
All right. So, Valtarian audience, you see that the cart in front of you is slowing down. And you can slowly make out more of the details, and you see that this halfling is just sitting at the back of the cart, probably with his legs dangling from the side, and watching you with a welcoming, or at least warm grin.
Yep.
All right.
I look uncomfortable to audience. Like, should we really do this?
No, there's no need to be shy here.
Alright, so... Valtteri, did you say this close enough for Eldon to hear you, or was it just whispered between you and audience?
It was actually just the audience, but
Alright.
I don't know how good his hearing is.
Well,
so.
From what you have experienced with audience, if you give him a warning that you're talking to him, he will perceive it. If he's not, there's a chance he might not.
Okay, I give him a notch and then say kind of quietly to him.
I'll just give a reassuring smile and then be like, and then raise my arm and be like, "Hey friends, mind slowing down the cart for a bit so we can catch up?"
Oh no.
It is.
Well, more.
Shall we stop it then, I guess? Take a little break?
You hear he's selling. You hear he's selling and says,
Joking.
well, we've barely left the town. I don't mind slowing down, but taking a break?
It was a joke.
Oh, sorry.
It's all right.
And you know why she's nervous about strangers. You've heard a bit about what happened before you met them, so you know why she's nervous.
It's understandable.
So the cart slows down almost to a complete stop. Sort of like when you put a car in neutral. It's easy to catch up with it, but it's still just slightly moving forward.
Coasted.
Like
Alright.
5 kilometers per hour.
Oh, even less than that.
We'll catch up with the cart
All right.
then.
So you easily catch up with the cart, and who will speak first?
Probably.
I'm
Hey
I don't
there,
know
friend.
what audience would be for me on camera, so I'm just pointing into all directions.
Actually, on the
down.
overlay, audience is below you in the camera.
Okay.
Hey there, friend. My name is Audience, and this is my traveling companion, Valtteri. Where are you headed on this fine day?
Well, we're heading to the next town. Care to join?
In what direction is this town that you are headed?
On the road you don't really have a choice. You're gonna take a slight bend toward the east and then start going to the north.
Okay,
So going east and north.
Then yes, we shall. If you do not mind, we would love to accompany you.
Perfect.
Yes.
DM question. Because I'm a nosy little man. During our travels, did I notice that my other companions, if they had a letter and a coin from that same person?
They've either been very careful about it, or they don't have any, as far as you can tell. Because they haven't said anything that would indicate they are actually going as far as Grass Hill. Even Iselina told you they were stopping the village just before Grass Hill. So, unless she was lying, she most likely isn't part of this.
Okay. Cool. Just making sure. Yeah. So, who's hungry? Shall we pick up the pace just a tad? We got food, we got drinks.
Are we still walking behind the cart, or are we actually already inside?
Yeah. I will, as Alden say this, I will actually go up to the front because I can see their other companions, and I think it's kind of rude that I'm just talking to one of them and not all of them.
All right. Well, you can catch up very easily. as you get closer to the front, you notice that the two other companions are what looks like mostly human, but there is something elvish in her appearance, so most likely there was elves in her ancestry, maybe something like grandmother or great grandmother. So there's something a little bit elven about her. She's a bit tall for a woman, but other than that, she is very normal in every way you can see. You can even recognize some hints of her being either shy or introverted. You're not sure, because as you approach, she just recoils slightly and gives you a very shy smile. She looks like a beautiful human woman. Other than that, she's wearing very simple clothes, sort of a brownish robes. She has long hair, maybe middle of the back, that she tied, not in a braid, just tied with two ribbons, one at the at neck height and one just before it ends. So just that they're kept all together. And she just smiles and, yes.
Hello, I am Audience. I'm traveling with my travel companion Valtteri. We were just invited to travel with you to the next town by your friend, your halfling friend, in the back of the cart.
Yes.
Um,
Heldon is very friendly. Well, if he believes you are trustworthy, and she turns toward a companion, which you can't really see well. He is wearing black robes and cloak. In a way, it reminds you a bit of those who gave you the coin, but when he answers the look of the woman, you easily identify that this is not the same sort of creature. The voice is very metallic and cold, but also extremely sure of itself. And just because you're a martial character, you can easily recognize, as he turns his head toward you, he sizes you up from head to toe and just looks at the woman beside him and says, "He looks harmless enough. If Eldon says he would like them to join, I believe they can." And he just looks forward again.
I'll give a nod of thanks and say thank you. Then, if you have no further questions, we will probably enter the back of the car with your friend and be on our way.
She looks at you, the woman looks at you, and then she turns around and looks at your friend. She looks at you again and says, "Oh, I suppose if a holy man... all right, you can join. Just climb at the back of the cart. Civ, would you just give them the chance to climb on board?" And he just stops the cart, gives a bit of a tug when it stops, and waits for you to get on.
All right. We will climb in, or I will climb in the back then. I heard a mention of food, you said?
I'll pull out a ration.
I will graciously take the ration.
So, Valtteri, I'd say make a perception roll.
Okay. +4. 17.
21.
21.
All right. You notice that when Iselina looks behind her, she looks at you and she sizes you up for a moment. You do recognize the hesitation that the tiefling causes in her voice. However, you don't get the feeling that she is judging you for being a tiefling. She's just worried because she doesn't know you.
Okay.
So she is taken aback because you're tiefling, but her hesitation is not because you're a tiefling. That's what 22 gives you.
Okay. When he stops, I quickly go pet the horses and then go back into the back cart.
And so, Eldon, you see this grown
And-
tiefling woman just keeps on walking, going toward the horse, and starts petting the horse just like a 6-year-old kid. And then comes back inside the cart.
Then taking my notebook and drawing the
And
horse.
she starts drawing the horses.
Yeah.
Alright, you have... Unless there is a problem in front of you, it is a slightly cloudy day, but other than that, you have several hours of sharing this cart in front of you before you have to stop for dinner or whatever you want. So, you have a little bit of time to get to know one another.
All right.
I'm just sitting in my corner drawing.
So how have your travels been so far, my friend? I will turn to the halfling. Did you hear what I said?
I'm not sure he's...
Oh, my apologies. Yes. Eldon just keeps talking about his travels, getting here, meeting new people, going with the trades, dealing with some bandits at times. Just the regular adventuring type, like generic A1 sauce.
All right.
Eldon, I'd say make a insight roll. Yeah.
Me? That plus... So 13.
Right. Well, because you're used to talking to people, you actually start to understand why this huge dragonborn, who has been identified as a holy man by Iselina, probably brought the ire of a few guards. He is not extremely subtle. He is very direct, and so you can easily see how some people can be antagonized by this, especially city guards.
Mm-hmm. Of course. I like him.
And so this is a big confirmation for
handy.
you that those two, they're most likely the person that you heard about while you were investigating in the city.
Yeah. You guys happen to get into some trouble sometimes, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. And I will go off on my own tirade of telling him about our adventures, meeting, splitting up, fighting pirates at sea, fighting goblins in town, losing
While
two
he's
of our
doing that,
party members.
can I like inspect them to see like what they have on them, such as like coin wise, if they're broke, like their overall?
Sure. Make
like,
a perception roll.
what they have on.
20.
20.
All right. Well, with a perception like this, neither Valtteri or audience has the necessary passive perception to realize you're evaluating them. So, at a quick glance, Valtteri, we'll start with you. What would you say that Eldon can see? Is everything you own inside a backpack? Do you have your money pursed on your belt? What sort of weapon do you have? What sort of impression do you give?
Well, I have multiple pouches that are also kind of strapped around my tail. I have my notebook where I have a lot of drawings inside.
This one is easy to see because it's
Um,
already open. She's been drawing the horse for maybe the last 30 minutes.
I have cucumbers, carrots, apples.
You don't have to make the inventory of what's
Cherries?
inside your backpack, but what's on you, that I would...
Okay,
Yeah.
2 daggers. A quarterstaff. I guess I could also mention that I have a few scars that I'm trying to hide with my clothes, especially with my scarf that I'm wearing. Do I have to say how much gold I have?
I'd say no. You don't have to say exactly how much, but if your purse is on your belt, you can say, "Is your purse very heavy or not?"
I don't know if it
Alright.
would be heavy, to be honest.
Let me see what's inside your...
I definitely don't have as much as audience that I can
All right. So with 20,
assure you.
with a
Kinda
20 of
figured.
perception, you'd say that from the point of view of a farmer, she is very rich. From the point of view
Okay.
of a noble, she's just above a peasant.
Okay.
Audience.
Okay.
What
That'll
does
do.
Eldon perceive for you?
Well, you notice a lot of standard adventuring gear. Probably a slightly worn chainmail at this point, so you can tell I've been in some scraps before. As well with a whole armory basically on my back with a shield, a greatsword, and then a longsword, which looks a little bit nicer. The longsword definitely looks actually pretty nice. Strapped to my side. You notice an amulet around my neck, identifying me as, yes, possibly a holy individual. And then gold-wise, you notice that my coin purse, although definitely not that of a nobleman, is probably decently well weighted for the adventuring type.
Okay.
So for an adventurer, he is most likely fortunate. And since you are used to seeing holy symbol and how priests would look, it does feel like he is part of a holy order. You do not recognize the symbol, so it is not one of the major religious order inside of the Mistle Island chain. But he is most likely either a very war-oriented priest or a paladin.
Okay. Perfect. That was just fascinating to hear, audience. You've certainly had your trials, and I bet you there's more to come.
I am looking forward to them and growing in strength into the challenges they might present.
Indeed. What is life but to challenge oneself?
And to challenge others, I say, throwing a wink.
Yep.
All right.
That will happen in the days to come.
All right. So the day goes by very routinely. You exchange these, little bits of information and history. From audience, I'd say you easily grasps during the day that he is very devoted to his order. Something about dragons. Zachary is a lot shyer than audience, but it becomes easy to see that she is either a nature priest or a druid because of how she dresses, how she talks, and her absolute fascination with animals. Because as she is slowly finishing the drawing of the horse, she looks over the side of the cart and she sees squirrel fighting, and she starts drawing the squirrels.
You can also notice that I'm not wearing any metal, and that I have decorations in my hair and on my horns as well.
I'd say Eldon. Oh,
Yes.
roll another perception roll for me. 10.
10.
That's about it. You do notice from time to time that there is something moving about in the cart, but you easily dismiss this as being tricks of the wind.
Okay. Anybody fancy a game? And I'll pull out my dragon chess set.
I love games. I played cards once with sailors. It went quite well for me. Won quite a few coins.
Indeed. This is more of a gentleman's game.
Ah. Well, I am nothing but gentlemanly.
But gentle.
Let us play.
Alright.
I assume I will not be good at this game, but it's audience.
I have
Can I
proficiency with
give
it, so
him
why not?
guidance?
Can try.
I feel like that'd be cheating.
Oh, don't worry. Eldon's gonna be cheating. Slide of
Most
hand.
likely.
Oh,
Most
I'm
likely.
just patting his shoulder like, you could do it.
You can tell. I mean, I think you're going to be able to tell pretty early on you don't need to cheat to beat me, but
Alright.
Gotta have fun on the road.
Yes, of course. So what are you playing for?
Just the past the time.
Just the fun, just the bragging
Just the
rights of
pass
saying
the
I'm
time.
better than you.
Yeah.
Alright, then we're going to do this very summarily. So I'd say
We're actually playing chess now.
Pawn to A5. Knight to G6.
so
There's
I
actually
Oh.
online chess,
so
Yeah.
I would say so you took out a small chessboard, is that it? Dragon
Yep.
chest?
My dragon. Yep, dragon
Alright.
chess set.
So I'd say this is a intelligence roll. And Eldon, if you want to cheat, I am going to say you can do a sleight of hand check. And if you beat audience passive perception, I will give you advantage on your intelligence roll.
Okay, so my sleight of hand is 8 plus 9, which is
You beat it.
You have
17.
you have a feeling that you could simply look at him and say, "Oh, look," and then just switch two pieces, and he wouldn't even notice it. And so,
Oh,
audience, you can roll an intelligence roll, contested by Eldon's intelligence roll with advantage because
Alright.
he succeeded this cheating roll.
Alright.
And he gets my guidance. I just pat on his shoulder.
It's not gonna matter, but
19.
Yeah, that's gonna be versus the 4 I rolled plus the guidance, which is an extra 2, so a solid 6.
So most likely this first round and a lot of the round after that probably lasts 5 or 6 move, and that's it.
In the meantime, Do I feel my friend nearby?
Yes, yes, you do. And as a matter of fact, a few times while they were playing, you do feel a little sense of frustration as Eldon just says, "Oh, this cart is really it moves a bit much. Hold on, I think that those two pieces have moved." And just as he places them back, you feel this little frustration coming from somewhere as he places them back. Of course, for Eldon, this means you successfully just switch two pieces on the board, and the audience doesn't notice this at all. But Valtteri, your friend,
I
did.
classify this as training.
This is just practicing, It's
Yeah.
But Valtteri, you do feel this little sense of frustration whenever Eldon does something like this.
Okay.
Oh, and as we travel, if I could keep an eye out for like other travelers, like traveling by.
All right. I'd say make a perception roll.
16.
All right. So as the day keeps going by and you keep playing chess like that, just how long are you going to emotionally humiliate audience?
I would say not that. I would say not that long because audience will get frustrated probably after three losses in a row.
I would show
playing.
audience how to play better, like showing him the different moves, not being a complete and utter jerk.
All right. So audience, when after a few losses, maybe 3 or 4 losses, and you seem to be expressing very visible frustration, Eldon just, with a smile, starts telling you where you went wrong in the last move and showing you how this goes better. There's still something that eludes you when he starts playing, because even though he's giving you advice, he's still beating you a few moves later. But he's at least doesn't seem to be being a jerk about it, and is genuinely giving you advice that you can recognize are useful.
I decide that I won't challenge him to an arm wrestle because he's actually being nice.
Yes, with my +1 to strength. Thanks.
Same here.
So most of the day goes by like this, and as the sun slowly starts to set, you start seeing on the horizon a small village, very humble, just like most of the village that you've encountered so far. So my maps are usually I go toward historically accurate maps. So they're really, I've separated the settlement in 3 categories: cities, town, and village. Village, you'll usually only get 4 or 5 houses in the center of town, and maybe 5 or 6 spread out toward the rest of the village. Those people will usually either tend to fields or livestock. In towns, it's a bit more elaborate. Have you played Diablo 3? The town of Tristram. It's not a bad model for what a town look like. And cities, of course, are larger cities. Sometimes they have more than one district. It's never as big as, let's say, Rome. But if you've ever seen pictures, I don't know if you've ever seen Carcassonne, which is the only, I think, surviving walled city here on Earth. So this is
So,
what a city looks like. Bigger city like Soutien, who has several districts, will be a bit bigger, but those are the three categories. And what you're arriving to is just a village.
all right.
So it's a very small village, and you see a few people still in the street. They're mostly going back to doing their own things toward their house. Some are going toward a small tavern, but as you slowly enter the town, you encounter another traveler, easily recognizable as someone who's been traveling for a while, entering from. In large cities, you wouldn't be able to see other entrances to a village, but village being so small, when you enter from one side, you can easily see someone else entering from another side. And as you all turn toward this person arriving, Fisher, would you like to describe what they see is slowly making their way toward their cart?
Well, you would see a quite tall, standing at a good 6'8", large construct, Warforged. Kind of dark, weathered metal combined with like a light oak color of wood, generally more at the kind of like muscled areas. And he's got a large great axe strapped to his back, underneath his backpack, which is has also other odds and ends, mostly weapons hanging off of it, and looks very say battle weathered. You can definitely notice recently he's not struggling, but he's definitely just recently gotten out of a scrap or two, heading into town.
So, coming from your
So-
left, from where you're entering town, you see this person slowly making its way toward where you are, and most likely toward the only place where you can stay for the night, which is the inn of the village.
I'll turn to my companion to be like, that construct looks a little worse for wear. Looks like he's been in a scrap recently.
Yeah, and he just walked into town alone. Yeah,
Perhaps we could help him out.
indeed. Exactly what I was thinking. Plus a few other things. And I am casing this entire town to see if I see like the poor. You know what I'm looking for.
Yeah. I'd say make another perception roll.
Not so good. 14.
Well, there aren't visible sign of poverty and misery, but there are so few people walking about because of the time of the day that it's a bit hard to really get a good impression of their general well-being.
No, like specific beggars.
That's exactly same answer. It's too late during the day to see people outside. They're either trying to make their way to the inn where they could possibly drink something, or are hurrying to wherever they go when they want to sleep. So there's too few people walking about for you to judge easily. But like I said, there are no obvious signs of severe poverty or misery.
Okay. I'll tie up the horses.
All right. So, Valtteri and audience, while Eldon is helping Iselina tie the horses, you see Siv, which you've grown accustomed to hearing Iselina just call him Siv, get out of the cart. And as this happens, audience, could you roll a perception roll for me?
I can. That's going to be, I think I get -1 to that. So that's going to be... oh no, I get a plus. Oh yeah, that's going to be an 11.
Well, fortunately, the DC was rather low because there is something extremely familiar with this. The way he moves, the way that no matter where he is facing, you have this feeling that he is always aware of his surrounding. You've met someone like this before, and even more so,
Trained.
You've absorbed part of his knowledge in the way you defend yourself. You are most certain that he is as your friend Tesul was.
The Blade Master. Yes. I'll turn to him. I'll be like, it seems as though you have learned the art, or have learned the art of a Blade Master.
He turns toward you slowly, says, learning might be a bit of a strong word. And he just keeps walking after saying this. Going toward Valtteri, who is closer to the person who is just coming into town.
I'll follow him and be like, I met another Blade Master who gave me some training. It was Tesul. He was a what's the name of the race?
Naftan.
I'm not gonna remember.
The moth people.
The moth person.
Naftan. Naftan. N-A-F.
Naftan. He was a Naftan.
Calmly, he answers to you. Well, these people have gone through a lot, and they have perfected their ways of fighting like few have. And as he says the next word, you do hear a sense of respect mixed between the coldness of his voice and the metallic sound of it. You have to respect their origin. They come from very far and have learned to deal with the unnatural. And this is when you reach Valtteri, who is waiting for Fisher to get close to her. Fisher, as you enter this enter this town.
Wait, she's waiting for him?
I was still at the
She just
cart.
said that she gets out and she made a few steps, so she's not moving, and Fisher is coming toward the inn, so toward all of you. So the only one who is waiting there without doing anything is Valtteri, with Fisher slowly approaching her. So Valtteri, you are the closest one to Fisher when he arrives. And Fisher, you notice that there's this tiefling awkwardly standing in front of you with two tall gentlemen just walking beside her and reaching where she is. One is obviously a dragonborn. The other one, it's a bit hard to identify, but because you are also a construct, there is something very familiar in his way of walking, which makes you feel that he might also be a construct. And you see just behind them this small halfling smiling. And this is the greeting you get when you enter this small isolated village. How do you react?
So
No one seems to be very
walk
aggressive
up.
toward you, but it's still one heck of a welcome. And in your current state, you know that if they jump you, you have no chance.
Look kind of
Oh,
beat up there, friend.
Well, I ran into some trouble on my way here just a couple hours ago. Had to take care of some bandits, but they got lucky. But ended up not too much of a challenge in the end. Just enough to make me have to stop, though. Unfortunately, been in quite the hurry recently. What brings your diverse party to this small village?
I'm seeing the world.
Cool. How's it look so far?
Kind of rocky at times, but also kind of wet.
Cool.
Sam's face.
You guys got to deal with them now.
Would I recognize the Dragonborn as a holy person?
I'd say it's been a little while, so I'd say yes, you can recognize him as a holy person because of the symbol on his chest. I'd say roll an intelligence. Make an intelligence roll for me. 21.
21.
All right. So, as you look at them all, two things stand out. One, yes, audience is obviously a holy person. You've never seen this emblem before, so because of all the time you spent in the capital city of the Dragonborn, you know this is not one of the major religion of the world. This is most likely either a small religion or a local religion to the Mistle Island chain. Second thing you notice, that tiefling and that dragonborn look an awful lot like the description you found on the letter of the person who tried to kill you.
Great.
Uh-oh.
So he probably also met the cult
There
of
is
the
a
hunters.
good chance
Yes.
that they are that group. Or at least two members of the group.
Then, after looking them up and down,
I'm afraid so. God.
you guys wouldn't have happened to have run into some trouble with followers of the hunter god? You seem to match a description of a note I took off somebody who was foolish enough to try and catch me sleeping.
I have no connection.
You'll see an interesting. Normally, audience very forthright, cheery. You'll kind of see his face darken, and for a second he's like, "Yes, we have." Many runs in. In fact, they have taken two of our companions captive, and as of the moment, we have no ability to rescue them. So all we can do is hope that they are safe and still alive.
Well then, it's a good thing I met up with you guys. Might be a good idea to stick together for a little bit. enemy of my enemy, and
I agree wholeheartedly. I'll put out my hand. I am audience.
grasp it. They call me Fisher.
Yes. Good name.
Well, to new alliances and new friends.
And Valtteri, what do you do while all of this is going on? Everyone's talking except you, and you're just looking at everyone like a cat watching a ping pong match.
I'm probably just standing there watching them and trying to see if my little friend is going out of the cart. And I'm trying to make a sign that she should, or ask her to get on my shoulder without saying anything, so she stays
I'd
close
say
to
make
me.
a sleight of hand check. You're trying to make a signal very stealthily.
Is an 18 alright?
It's pretty good. Actually, since I'd say since no one is really paying attention to something like that, no one has a high enough passive perception to notice this, with one exception.
She doesn't see it again.
No, she noticed, but you notice
Okay.
that Civ
But-
has noticed your sign.
Yay.
He looks back
Okay.
toward the cart, and you have a feeling he is watching exactly where she is, because as he does that, you do see a little scuff mark, easily identifiable with maybe a small claw that just pushed itself off the side of the cart. It just appeared on the upper side of the cart, on basically the railing, and he looks exactly at that little spot that just, and he looks toward you, and he looks in front of him again.
Not good. And did she go somewhere else now, or on
She
my
is
shoulder?
not on your shoulder, but you have a feeling she is no longer in the cart.
Okay. Okay. That's enough for me. But I keep an eye on Sif because I don't like that.
So where's everybody heading here, Fisher? I'm heading up north.
As a
I
matter of fact,
am
yes.
also heading north.
You all
North.
are.
North seems to be the direction we're going as well.
This is kind of awkward.
I know. It's like we're meant to be together.
Sure.
Well, one day, our names will be written down in books and stories shall be told of our journeys.
Okay.
Oh, you don't have that already? And then I'll throw a wink again. So,
No, I'm more of the shadowy side of the adventures.
I see.
You're usually the footnote in the book, you know.
I'm the reason things get done. But
He's the
people don't
reason why the
remember
book
me.
is there, you know.
Like the stage crew. Exactly. I kept you all alive and long enough.
Should we maybe go inside? If,
Oh yes, drinks, please.
um,
You eat, Fisher? I know Civ doesn't.
No, I do not.
Okay.
do you need any repairing or something?
Oh, I'll be able to handle it. I need to rest somewhere for a while.
Okay.
Interesting.
Right. As you all turn around and start making your way toward the inn, Fisher, Civ's turned toward you and welcomes you in the group, putting his hand forward, as if he wanted to shake your hand.
I'll
The
reach
moment
out and
you
shake
take
it.
I'm interested.
there is a god-awful feeling that spreads toward inside of you. The way he takes your hand, it feels like you've just given him every single bit of information someone can possibly gather about a person. How you walk, how you move, the way you fight. It spreads throughout your body, and you get this sensation that he has just evaluated you. And it sends a retching feeling inside your heart, one that you don't know where it's coming from, but there's this voice inside of you that is ordering you to give this guy a very wide berth. There is a little bit of fear. Yeah, give him a lot of space. Don't move in his way. There is a...
Do any of us notice this?
You could make a passive... make a... sorry. I'll allow you to make a perception roll. So,
All of
if
us?
you want to
or-
see if you notice this, I'll allow it. And like I said, Fisher, you get this feeling with all of this, and you don't know where it's coming from. It feels like it comes from so long ago, so far inside of you. You don't know what to do with this. But there is a sense of respect it and fear it.
Man just marked his territory.
He is the
It's
alpha.
18.
22.
22.
Wow.
Oh god.
I rolled an 18 and I have a +4 in perception.
Alright. So the
Rolled a
first thing that
16.
I want to know is, Fisher, how do you react to this feeling?
Just kind of... As soon as... Does it start happen like as soon as I
he
grab his
grabs your
hand?
hand, it
to, like,
feels like
shake it?
something reaches out from his
Okay.
hand and just analyzes you, and you get this feeling that hits you in the heart, or where your heart should be.
Okay, I'll kind of freeze for a second before letting go of his hand and going, right, well, I'm headed in
So
inside.
with an 18,
You guys have fun.
Eldon, you do perceive that Fisher sort of developed this odd, awkward feeling the moment he touched Civ. Valtteri, because of a 22, you perceive all of this. You don't, oddly enough, you don't perceive anything coming from Civ. However, you do catch on all of this mixed feeling that Fisher is just been hit with within half a second after taking the hand of Civ. You don't have the word exactly, but you do get this feeling that something just happened and Fisher just completely closed up. And it's because of that. You're sure of it.
Okay. So how's the moving order right now? Like, am I still
Well,
the closest to him? or...
Everyone just turned around and
Fisher?
started moving. So I'd say, yes, most likely Fisher is to one or the other side of you. And he's probably maybe a step behind you. Because as you all moved, Civ extended his hand toward Fisher and he took it. So everyone would have had time to make one or two steps. But he is very close to you.
Okay. Is fish are now moving away from Sif, or are they still close to each other? Like, still standing next to each other?
Yeah, as soon as I dropped his hand, I would have set off at a brisk walk towards the closest, whatever the inn is here.
Then I would probably wait for him to get to me and then walk next to him and ask, are you okay?
She's asking you if you're alright.
Yeah, no, I'm fine.
Right.
No, that was in character. He's distracted by what just happened. Yeah, no, I'm fine. It's nothing. I'm just tired and need to rest for a little bit.
Then let's go in.
Alright. So, with this, Eldon and audience, you are the first one to enter this small village inn. Inside the inn, Isalina is already there. She is buying a place for the horse and the cart to stay. When you enter, this is what you see. There are just a few people around. It's in the middle of the week, and no, actually, it's the end of the week. But still, it's not a moment where there should be a lot of festivity. So it's fairly quiet. You get a feeling that a lot of people work very hard. As you get in, you get the impression that they're not very wealthy, but they're holding their own, and you know, it looks like a typical village.
Honest working folk.
As far as you can tell, yeah, from those inside the inn, yes, you'd say yes.
Okay. Cool. Well, let's eat and drink. Let's grab a table. I'll grab the first round.
Well, of course, as soon as you enter and say out loud, let's eat and drink, you catch the attention of someone behind the counter immediately. You get the feeling that you're going to be his most promising customers for the day and possibly the week before.
Okay. I'll buy the constructs a drink as well, knowing that they won't drink it as well. But I'll buy food for everybody else. And I will have a round bought for the bar as well.
Valtteri, this is something that we slightly talked about, but it's something that I wanted to mention. We did, in 5th edition, alcohol is considered a poison. So you know that if you wanted to join in, you could just isolate yourself and cast Purify Drink. You'd basically turn your alcoholic beverage into a non-alcoholic beverage.
Well, there's the problem. I don't have
That's
that
alright.
spell prepared.
I'm just saying, it's something that I realized recently. So...
Well, Iseline doesn't drink as well, so I'd probably get a few like non-alcoholic choices.
I'll take the apple juice.
Okay.
Oddly enough, Civ asks for water.
He gets it, but I'm intrigued.
He takes the water and he goes outside the inn.
Okay. I won't press that door.
Yes?
Question.
Well, I have
Is my
noticed that
friend inside or outside?
You don't know. However, I'd say maybe a few moments, 10 or 12 seconds after Civ leaves, you feel a small sense of satisfaction coming from your friend. Something you've grown accustomed
I
to when
quickly-
she is drinking water.
I quickly go. I go outside.
So
Siv's a
you
good
go
guy.
outside and you find Siv kneeling down with the mug in front of him, and you see small splashes of water inside the mug.
um, I'll go up to Sif. Hello?
He just turns his head slightly toward you, acknowledging that you just talked, but he doesn't talk back. He just keeps looking at the mug, slowly emptying itself.
Thank you.
I have a feeling you often forget this about her.
Well, it is hard when you go through a lot of stuff you're not used to, and when she's not showing herself that much, so I try my best, but yeah.
He stands up, looks at you, and he says, "Life is important. You should always try to prioritize it. I'll leave you to your friend." And he goes back inside the inn.
Did we situate rooms?
Your sound completely broke off. I didn't hear a single thing you said. Yeah.
Me? Great. I follow I'm just looking how he's leaving and then look back where I
You
think
still
is
see
Orina.
small splashes of water inside the cup, and slowly it's emptying.
And I'm getting out 2 cherries and putting them next to the mug. And knowing that she likes it. And I'm sorry that I sometimes forget you. I really try hard. But now with all of what happened the past few days, it's kind of rough.
You get a pause in the satisfying feeling that she's living, that she's expressing, and then you see a cherry slowly starting to disappear, and the satisfaction comes back, and then she starts drinking again. You get a feeling that she acknowledged what you just said, but she's more interested in the water and the cherry right now.
I'm sitting down in front of her. I don't care if people are watching. And just watch, kind of guessing how she is standing or sitting, because she's still invisible. And kind of wait for her to finish.
It's going to take a few minutes. So inside, because I have a lag when everyone talks, I'm not sure who asked me if the room had been situated. Was it Eldon or Fisher? Because one isn't moving and the other one has a slight lag. All right.
That was me, Eldon. Yeah. Yeah, I would have gotten the room situated for everybody.
That's easy enough to do. What sort of room do you buy for everyone? There's not a lot of choice. You basically have what could be considered a closet with a bed, or probably a room reserved for wealthier travelers, which is the size of 2 closets with a bed and a chair.
So I'll go with
Alright.
the cheaper one.
So it's going, well, because it's so bad, I'd say he's going to ask you for 5 copper for, and he looks around the room, says 5 copper for those who need to sleep.
I'll hand him a gold and just say, math is too hard at times.
He hesitates for a moment and says, do you want, the change for this? I'm not sure I have.
I grab the keys and I
Oh.
walk away.
All right. Thank you for your patronage.
I wave. Start handing out the keys.
So, audience, Iselina, Fisher, and Civ, who just entered back inside the inn, all get a key. Valtteri is still outside.
I'll get her hers.
All right, so audience and Fisher, you notice Eldon just going by Civ, giving him a key, and then going outside. Valtteri, you get a key handed to you from Eldon. It's out of nowhere. You're just there watching it because, you know, he's used to being a bit stealthy. So you're just there and you're watching Orina, and then suddenly you see this
Sitting
key
on the
appearing
floor.
right beside you and say, here's your key. What the?
Thank you.
No problem.
For what?
It's for your room if you would like to sleep inside.
Oh, wait. Let me quickly. How much was it?
Oh, that's not an issue.
Thank
Have a great
you.
night. You're welcome.
You too.
Hop, skip, and a jump. I leave.
All right. Audience and Fisher inside the inn. What do you want to do for the remainder of this evening?
I'm not probably going to do too much. I'm probably going to drink a bit, eat a bit. I'm going to ask possibly Fisher a bit more about his run-in with the hunters and any details he could give me.
Not much. Just it was just that one assassin. However, the note I found on him did mention that they were in league with some old acquaintances of mine that I've been looking for. And they weren't appreciative of my investigation. Would have found out about them so far.
Well, they keep mentioning this old god, the hunter god, and although I am not sure what to believe, whether he is real or not, we have had some run-ins with kind of some arcane magic that would make me believe that something is definitely powerful is going on behind the scenes of the cult, and I'll mention the goblins and like the goblin turning into the creature, and the orb and the corrupted
So the
seed.
goblin that audience is talking to you about is he tells you about this fight which happens inside a goblin burrow. But as the goblin fell in battle, he was infused with magical energy, and his body sort of changed and morphed, became something of a goblin aberration, and just got up again and started fighting the group again, almost killing one of their party members.
And I'll say, besides that, we know that they definitely want us dead at this point, as there's our bounties out for our heads. We know they've captured 2 of our members already, and that they're definitely a group to be very wary of, and that they want us dead.
I don't mean to be insensitive, but do you have any idea whether or not these friends of yours are still alive?
I know one of them was gravely injured. The other did not seem to be nearly as hurt, but I have no idea whether they still are alive, no.
I'm sorry you lost some companions, but must not be easy.
No. One of them I did not care much for, but the other had been with me for all of my adventures and was a good man, so I hope that he still lives, and one day I'll be able to rescue him if he cannot escape on his own.
Whether or not you like a person, there's always a certain bond that forms when fighting together.
That is true. I am sorry to learn that this old cult seems to have allies with some of your old acquaintances. That's an unfortunate news.
Yes, you wouldn't have heard much of the pirate ship, the Predator, have you?
No, I've only ever ran into one pirate ship when I was out at sea, but I don't think that he ever mentioned anything of the Predator. It was a ghost ship that we fought. One ran mostly by skeletons, so
No,
I don't know if that is any involvement. Alright, then no.
Audience, I'd say
worth a shot.
with the bits and pieces of information that you've been able to gather so far, you could start making an intelligence check. Right now the DC would be high, but yeah, by that I
Start
mean
making.
you've heard enough
Okay.
bits and pieces for your mind to start trying to put pieces of the puzzle together, but right now the DC would be high.
Okay, I'll roll. Yeah,
Yes,
it's higher than a
definitely.
2.
So you just hear the story and say, uh-huh, yeah.
Nope.
Oh, this is going to be a classic for audience. All right.
Mhm.
Intelligence check.
Absolutely.
We love them.
All right. So, do you have anything else you want to talk about before the evening ends? If not, I will end the evening like on this and we'll take a break.
Yeah.
I'd say I would, not needing to rest for as long as some of the others, I would kind of wait until everybody else leaves but Civ. And then once everybody else is gone, focus my attention on him and kind of just who are you? What was that you did earlier?
He looks at you. For the first time, he lowers his hood, and that unsettles you to such a degree. It literally triggers your fight or flight response. And as he does, you also notice that the cloak slightly shifts from his shoulder, and you also notice just below the line where it is, small engraving. The first three letters are easy to recognize, CIV. But you see another series of three characters just after that, which are extremely faded, as if someone had just rubbed them until they couldn't be identified anymore. So he lowers his hood and says, I earned my place. And he looks at you, tilts his head slightly, and says, you were fortunate enough to not need to. You're older, but not more experienced. You were lucky. That's it. He doesn't say anything else.
Okay. How long have you been awake?
Too long. From your point of view, you get a feeling that his awakening was slow. Slower than yours. And so he most likely has a lot of memories like yours. Probably worse, and for so much longer than you have.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh. I haven't met many others of our kind since I awoke myself, and trying to redeem myself for at least what I can remember in the past couple of years, but that's what I was talking about earlier with the pirates. I was with them when I finally was able to take control of myself. And, I've been, fortunately, the first time they got away from me, but I've been hunting them down since then. You seem like yours is a much longer and more complicated story, and sorry about that. And then I'll get up
just
and
looks at you
retire to my room.
And gives a slight nod, which you gather is a sorry, the word just got out of my head. An acknowledgement of what you just said, and a little bit of respect, but he doesn't say anything. And you do notice one thing. His attention is never faltering. At every single moment, he is always aware of what goes on around him. And right now, his focus is on protecting Iselina. The moment she moves, he shadows her trajectory and goes with her.
Alright. Yeah, I'll head up to my room and
All right.
rest.
So, you all go to your room. You bed in. Valtteri, audience, Eldon, do you also do the same thing?
If I would ask Arena to go up with me into the room, would she say yes?
Yeah, tonight she would. She'll follow you.
Okay, then I'll go up with her in my room and laying into bed but not sleeping. And for others, it would look I would talk to myself, but I'm talking to her. Like, I'll miss my family and Muriel, especially my, father, Orior, and yeah, slowly fall asleep.
Alright. So, you all fall asleep, and we take a break. Alright, so we will be back in 10 minutes. So, see you back in 10 minutes. Welcome back! Yes, I know, some of the player looks slimmer than they did before the break. Still working on that. Alright.
We had a workout session.
Power workout. 10 minutes. You lose half of your weight. Dungeons and Dragons special. Alright. So, you all go to sleep, and the night goes without any problems. Fisher, of course, you go into your sentry mode, you walk, look around. Well, there's a lot of people, and most of them you feel are allies. Do you go into sentry mode, or do you try and sleep?
I'll try and sleep, seeing as I haven't rested in
sentry
such
mode
a
would
long
be enough
time.
to heal you, restore all
Just
spell
kind of-
used. There's no problem with that. All right.
Yeah, but just like mentally
All right.
tired.
Well,
Notice anything,
in
just
that
kind of
case-
shut down for a bit.
since this is something that doesn't happen a lot for you, you find yourself dreaming that night. And every time you've let yourself fall asleep, you find yourself again in the dream that you had after receiving the letter. However, this time, something slightly different surprises you in the dream. You recognize in the crowd Valtteri, audience, and Eldon. That's the only difference from the other times that you had this dream. For the first time, you actually recognize people you've met in the crowd. The rest of the dream goes, yes?
Do I notice that I've seen them in previous times of the dream and just hadn't
Well,
known them yet?
because everything looks
Or-
a bit fuzzy when you're inside the dream, it does feel like they might have been there from the beginning, but because you have actually been able to put a face to them, you are able to recognize them through this misty feeling that you have through the dream. So it does feel like they've always been there. You've just never been able to recognize them. The rest of the dream goes as it normally would. And Valtteri and audience, you are also very used to having this dream, and just like the night you slept in the middle of the clearing when all of this started, you recognize Fisher among the crowd. Eldon, just like Fisher, you've had this dream very often since you started your travel, but this is the first time you actually recognize people in this crowd. And you are sure this the three of the people that you've met the last day, they are in the dream. This is a bit odd, but the rest of the dream unfolds exactly as it has every single time you've had it, with the exception of when you're looking through the vault where all of the objects are. You do recognize one of them, crossing your gaze, looking also for their object. And so yes.
Question. In the dream, do I still see Tobiyashi and Trevor as well, or are they gone?
You Alright, so Valtarian audience, you do manage to see Tobiyashi in the dream. However, Trevor feels uncertain. It feels like you see him walking about, but there's something fuzzy about him, like as if his place in the dream had become uncertain.
Okay.
And you all wake up inside of the inn where you were. It is morning. The birds are chirping, and Valtteri, you sense a strong feeling of disapprobation at the back of your head. And you look around and you see Orina tapping on the ball that you were given by your friendly mage in the last city you were.
Oh, not that shit.
She's visible
How is
right
she?
now.
What feeling is she? Yeah, but what was her feeling again?
Strong
It didn't really
disapproval.
disapproval. Okay. I was thinking of throwing that thing away.
She's tapping on it, and she's even trying to... Yeah.
Fighting it. Okay, I carefully tried to take it away from
She
her.
lets you, but she looks at you suspiciously as you do so.
Okay. I'll open the window and throw the
The
thing
moment
out.
you make the move to throw it out the window, you feel a small pain coming into your arm, and you hear this voice that you've started to hate so much say, uh. Do you still try to throw it out the window?
I have a better idea. God damn it. I don't know if I should try to throw it out or just leave it in the room. Is there a bin or something? Trash bin?
No, nothing like that. There might be a chamber pot, but that's it.
Okay. Just gotta put it in a shelf or something and just keep it in there.
So your
And
goal
leave
is
it
to
there.
leave it inside the room? So
Yes.
you leave it you leave it on the bed, and as you're about to walk out the door, all right.
I wasn't
All right.
about to walk out.
So
I
you
was
just
still
put it
doing
on the bed?
something. And yeah, well, in a
It's
shelf.
a
Isn't
minimal
there like
room.
a closet?
I said the room is the size of a closet with a bed in
Okay.
it.
Got it. Okay. I'll get my water skin out and kind of try to water Orina
Okay.
so she has something. So she has something to drink. Give her one of the cherries, and in the meantime, I'm gonna use good berries. Dispel good berries to make good berries.
All right. Usually it's what people do when they use that spell.
Wait, what do?
How many good berries do you make?
Yeah,
You can
but
do.
right.
I believe
How
it's between
many
1
can I
and 10.
make?
You can choose.
Yeah, it's up to 10. Can use an action. I'll make.
All right. You
10?
have 10 berries inside your hand, and you've learned to recognize them as being good berries.
Okay. Okay, I'll give one good berry to Orina.
She eats. You feel a strong sensation of satiation.
Okay,
You
I'll eat
feel-
one myself.
Very satiated. Still thirsty a bit, but full.
After she drank from the water skin, I drink a little bit from the water skin. Leave the orb in the room, pick up Orina, ask her to make herself invisible and head out
Is
of
your
the room
intention
and
to leave
to audience.
the orb in the room?
I will not think about it. Like, I will not think, like, extra leaving it, because I kind of have the feeling he's trying to control me. I'm, like, thinking I will come back later.
So
To
your intention... What is your
distract
intention?
Guy.
Because even if you don't think about it, you will have an intention with when you do something.
Yeah. I will give the impulse of going back and getting it.
All right. So right now, as you do this, do you have the intention to come back to it, or are you just pushing it aside in your mind, saying, I'll decide later? All right.
I'll push it away.
So, you leave the room, and just as you step outside the door, you get a little bit of a sniffle, and you just rub your nose, and when you look, there's a little bit of blood on your hand.
Well, shit.
Not enough to cause a point of damage, but, just a little bit of blood.
Do you have a tissue or something? Because I don't want to run around
You
with a
can
bloody
easily
nose.
wipe it with your own stuff. No one's gonna notice. It's not a gushing nosebleed. It's just a few drops of blood. You feel like it's a warning of what might happen if you keep on going like this.
Fine, I get the stupid
Alright.
orb.
So, you take the orb,
Stupid
you
wizard.
bucket it, put it inside your backpack. I don't know where you want to store it, but then you leave the room.
And try to
Well,
find
he's
audience
most likely
because I
somewhere
don't know which
on the
room
floor,
this is.
on the same floor as you. It's just a 2-story building, so and usually audience is up very early. So Fisher, you slept, so this is interesting. Fisher, make a, I'd say, wisdom roll. You're not accustomed to sleeping, so you don't know yet if you're the 7.
7.
You probably are a bit the type of to oversleep, so you're really the last one who's gonna wake up in the group.
And I'm the one who's always most of the time the
Well,
first
you're
one.
used to sleeping. He's
To
not.
wake
You know,
up.
it's a new thing for him. You've been sleeping
Yeah.
your whole life. Eldon, is Eldon the type of person who would wake up early in the morning or sleeping a little bit?
He'll wake up
So
early. With his line of work, it's something he's normally
most likely,
doing.
Valtteri, audience, and Eldon, you will get out of your room roughly at the same time as you're all very morning people. So Valtteri, as you get out, you hear a little bit of sound inside audience room. He's most likely gathering his thing. You see the door to one of the room being opened, and you see Eldon coming out. The door to Iselina's room is already open. Don't see anyone in. The only door who isn't open is Fisher.
I knock on audience.
So audience, you are in the process of just picking up your thing, and you're here at your door.
I'll open it.
You see Valtteri. Valtteri, what do you do?
Good morning, audience. I can I talk to you for a minute?
Yes, of course.
And of course, Eldon, when you get out, you see Valtteri go straight for audience's room, knock, enter, close the door.
Some small coy smile just like spreads across his face. Like, I wonder what's going on there.
All right, you
God.
go
Yeah,
downstairs. Downstairs, you'll meet Siv and Iselina, who are already up.
Yeah, kind of figured.
So, Valtteri and audience, what do you talk about?
Yes. Do you remember back then when we talked about how we all got the same dream?
Yes.
I had a similar dream last night, but this time our 2 new companions were there as well, and I was wondering if you maybe had the same dream and are probably thinking the same as I do and think that they might have the same mission as we do.
I did. And although I had not put that together yet, yes, you're probably right.
And I still saw Tobiyashi, so do you think he's still alive?
I can only hope.
Do you think we should talk with Fisher and about the garden, or?
I don't know. Maybe we should let them come out on it on their own time, because maybe they might not be comfortable enough with this yet to tell us, and we shouldn't push them.
Okay. Then I will not bother you anymore.
Oh, it's no bother. You're welcome anytime.
Thank you. I'm going downstairs and I'll hand him a good bear and eat that. That will make that you don't have any hunger for the whole day.
Oh, thank you. I'll look kind of skeptical, but they'll be like,
Well, I'll allow
Thanks,
you to make
and I'll
a
eat it.
religious check if you want to. It's the same sort of magic. You might have heard about these.
I'm not gonna make a religious check. I'm just like, I'm kind of skipping. I'm like, oh, I'm being handed a berry. Okay,
All right.
cool.
So
I'll
you
eat
eat
it.
it, and it's a funny sensation. You've never ate one before, but you feel strangely full. Still thirsty, but full. Like you've ate a really decent meal. Might have been missing a bit of spices, but other than that,
Nice.
Then I will head out.
all right.
Oh, well, downstairs.
So you go downstairs and you meet Eldon, Iselina, and Siv. Fisher, you sort of wake up a bit brusquely and you look around you and oh goodness, the sun is already up. Wow, I really need to master this. And you. So, what do you do? You can't help but to think to yourself, is that the same thing for everyone? Do they all go through this? Is it that hard to master?
I'll gather my stuff and
So, Eldon, the first person that you
head
see
down.
coming down the stair, are Valtteri and Audience. Unfortunately for your theory, they only come down after 1 or 2 minutes, so... But you know,
Okay.
some people do it really fast.
Yeah, you never know. But as they're walking down, I'm gonna change up my smile to like a knowing smile, because putting 2 and 2 together with the dream, I'm gonna say sweet dreams last night.
I'll look confused.
I look to audience and then back to him and just ignore and give him one of the good berries and tell him, eat that. It shall make you have no hunger for the rest of the day. And give the same to...
Iselina.
What was her name again? Iselina. Okay. Because I don't think the two Warforged need them.
Construct. Warforge is not a term in this world.
Construct. Okay, construct.
Well,
I'll just
you
pop
eat it,
it.
and strangely enough, you feel very full. It's a bit bland, but feels like you've ate a really good meal.
How often can you do that? That's very interesting. Because
Well-
I was thinking about buying some more rations for the trip.
I mean, I can do them more often, but you should, for the better, only eat one per day. Or there is a chance you get overweight if you eat too many of them at one day. But I can make them every day.
So you're telling me I could stop having to walk everywhere and just roll at a certain point?
I mean, that wouldn't be really healthy.
That's a vague term. Healthy.
I mean,
Well,
mm,
I'll grab a few more rations just in case.
okay. But you wouldn't need any food for the rest of the day for today, so
Perfect.
yeah.
I'll just get everything ready for the
if you want,
trip
I'll
outta
allow you
here.
to make a religious check, because you haven't had a lot of experience in small villages, but you've been there, not necessarily because you wanted to. It's something you might have heard about. Oh, definitely. You
Nat
eat it
20.
and you say all this, and then it comes back in your head. One day you were inside a village where there was a lot of poverty, and you remember seeing a druid get in the village and start casting spells left and right, and one of them was those little berries that kept appearing in his hand, and he was giving them to everyone, and everyone was just able to do an entire day as if they ate a really hearty meal. So, this is what pops up in your mind.
Wonderful. Cool. All right. Since we don't need breakfast then,
Or lunch or dinner.
yeah. So I'll try to buy like a few rations from the bartender and then get like the cart and everything ready for everyone.
Easy enough to do. Hold on. Where are the rations again? How much do they cost?
Rations are per one is 1.5 gold.
I'll trust you for it. No.
I don't know if
the
you changed up the
player's
pricing
hand.
from 5e. Yeah. So 1.5 gold.
Right,
I'll
so it's
get 3 of
0.5
them.
It's 5 silver for 1 day of rations. Is that it? Oh, yeah.
No, it is 1.5 gold for 3 of them.
Yeah, sure. Hold on. Player handbook.
Yeah, 0.5 gold, 2 pounds.
We're gonna sell this very easily. I have the player handbook just beside me. We can just skip ahead to the... Oops. Yes, I know rations, but I want the price. Alright, here we go. It's 5 silver for 1 day.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll grab 3.
Alright. 1 day for 1 person.
Oh, so I should probably grab a few. So 5 gold's worth would be 10.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll just get 5
Easy
gold
enough to do. Rations are a very common object to find, usually involving dried fruit and meats and... All right.
Cool.
So, all right. Good. So while Eldon is buying rations, you see Iselina and Siv go outside the door, going in the direction where the cart was left the night before. And as they do that, Fisher, you come down the stair and you see Eldon in the last moment of purchasing rations. Valtteri and audience, I don't know what you're doing while he's buying rations. Alright, so
Hanging out.
Valtteri and audience
I don't have a lot
talking
to
to one
do.
another. So Fisher, you just and come down the stair and you see Valtteri, audience, and Eldon inside the room. What do you do?
I'll walk up to audience and Valtteri and like, good morning. By any chance, have you guys had a reoccurring dream where, and then I go on to describe describe the room and the figure and all the people. And
I look to audience.
I'll say yes, we have. We've been having that dream for a few months now.
Since we started adventuring,
Yeah.
kind of.
I noticed you all in there with me. You found anything out about it so far, or?
Well, we assume that it's just the gathering we're going to, and we figured out where that was. But that's about it so far.
We don't know the exact location, but where about it might be. So you also had that weird man visiting you and giving you the letter with the coin?
Didn't say anything about that, but yes, I did actually.
Just got one and one together.
Valtteri, audience, and Fisher, are you trying to be discreet while you're talking about this, or are you talking at normal voice?
I don't think I'd be discreet about it. Just
audience, you're slowly
wouldn't
sliding right now. I can barely see your eyes. There you go.
There you go.
He looks so disappointed.
All right. So, well, since you're not trying to be discreet, Eldon, you probably catch a few words of that. Especially the part about the coin, because it's a word that is easy identifiable.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'd hear him. I just keep an
All
ear
right,
out.
then Fisher, audience, and Valtteri,
Just
you can
smile
keep on
about
talking.
it.
All right.
well, I guess if that's the case, mind if I accompany you to wherever it is we're going?
No, not at all.
Would probably be the best if we would stay all together in the same mission.
Yeah.
Should be fun. As I just walk by the table.
I assume that means that he is also a part of this group.
I guess
that's what we
so.
assumed because we saw him in our last dream.
Mm-hmm.
And we also saw one of our older group members, but the
One
other...
of the ones that was captured?
Well, we think both were captured, but the other one was kind of foggy in the dream. It's difficult to describe. It's kind of like he doesn't have the same connection to this reoccurring dream like we do. And I don't know. I mean, I'm certain that the other one is probably still alive, but we were kind of hoping to ask other people that are on the same path as we are to later maybe ask and try help us saving him. Because just the two of us wouldn't be able to save him from that cold. We already had a lot of problems with them, and yeah, they want to see us dead, so yeah.
By them, you're talking about the followers of the hunter god?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I think I could offer my assistance in that matter.
That would be really nice. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank.
Should probably be headed out then. Looks like Alton and his friends have started getting the wagon ready.
All right.
Yes.
All right. So you go outside,
Get up
and the
and head
cart
out.
has already been brought to the entrance of the inn. So make your way inside the cart. You, I assume, take the same positions as before. Civ and Iselina are already sitting at the front. There would probably be enough room for someone small to sit between the two of them, but there is more than enough space inside the cart for everyone.
Yes.
I'll just sit in my dark corner with Orina.
Eldon.
She's invisible
Orina
again.
either on
You
my
don't feel
shoulder
her on
or
your
my
shoulder,
lap,
but you don't
drawing
feel her
something.
very far. So.
Yeah.
Okay, so you kept
Well, I
it like
picked her up
someone
before
walking
when I
about
left
with
the
their
room,
chicken
so
all throughout the conversation.
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Well, no, she would be on my shoulders while I was walking and going around.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes secretly petting her when the others are.
I'm not gonna make a perception roll for every single time you do that. Let's just say that from time to time, one of you catches her doing something weird on her shoulder, and
On my shoulder, like kind of looking like I'm scratching myself, but my
like
fingers
trying to feed a
elevated.
bird that's not there.
Well, I'm
I
like
don't know.
petting, not
All they see
feeding.
you do is take your
Petting.
finger and then,
Well, petting.
you know.
It's alright.
Alright.
Eldon's is just gonna talk.
Alright. So
Keep up with a small chat.
the day is a fairly good day. You did see, however, when you left the village, that some people were actually beginning to prepare for the solstice of light, meaning you only have 7 days left until you have to be at the gathering. Fortunately, Eldon, because you've traveled throughout Estrin several times, you know that you will most likely get there within 5 days. So you have time. There's even 1 or 2 extra days left. But this is your sort of final marker about, oh, we're almost there. And we don't have that
We're getting close.
many days in reserve.
Yeah. So we need to keep a steady pace. Don't want to get slowed down too much. Eldon's curiosity is so peaked for this, it's not even funny.
Oh, a squirrel.
Right. So, do you involve this in your small talk, or do you keep the small talk as small as talk can be?
I'm vague about it because I don't know other people's wariness or like how open they are about it. Like I don't care so much because there's not very much information out there. I have a little bit more on who how many people have gotten letters and things like that. Other than that, I don't know much more than anyone else.
All right. So the day goes by fairly well. It's a good day. It's not something. Whoops, that got weird. Everything went really small on my screen, then it came back to normal. All right, so the day goes by uneventfully. Even the weather seems to be on your side. So, few clouds, but it's not even a gray sky. It's really just a few clouds in the sky, and day goes by fairly well. Up until maybe during second half of the day. The next town isn't very far off. You're maybe an hour and a half away from reaching it. And this is when the horse carrying the cart stops so abruptly that some of you even stumble a bit, and you look around. You see that Iselina isn't moving. However, you do hear Sif say, "Stay alert. The horses are paralyzed."
Got it. Eldon darts out the back. He instead of pulling out short swords, he pulls out 2 daggers.
So, Valtteri and audience? Fisher?
I will draw my long sword and equip my shield and actually jump out the back of the cart because I want to be on my feet and kind of look around the back end of it.
All right.
I'll jump off the back of the cart and summon my great axe to my hand.
So this is the first time you actually see this.
Look around,
Up until
ready.
now, Fisher didn't seem to have weapon, but as he just gets off the cart, he just seems to make a small hand gesture and his axe appears in his hand. A great axe, if I'm not mistaken.
Neat!
Yes, a great axe.
I carefully walk out. Not just jump out and might get hit by anything. I'll carefully walk out.
I'll go up near the front of the
And what
So-
might be? Wait, what was that one?
Everyone makes a
No.
perception roll.
Natural 20.
oh god.
24.
Okay.
11.
16.
Decently bad.
5.
All right. So, Valtteri, you notice this as effortlessly and fast as Civ. Both of your gaze turn straight to the left of the cart, and you see a figure there. Tall, looks humanoid, wearing mage's robe. Audience, it takes you a few more seconds to see this, but you see it fairly fast.
Do I notice him? Do I
No,
know him like... Does it seem
even with
familiar?
natural 20, you can easily
Okay.
see facial feature, and you don't know him. One thing you do notice
Okay.
is that he has a scroll in his hand. A scroll very similar to
Oh no.
the scrolls that the hunter cultists had in their backpack. It is a bounty scroll.
God damn it.
Audience, you don't see the scroll, but you can easily deduce by his demeanor, he doesn't mean well for the group. So,
All right.
Can I, like, in
Yes, of
reaction
course.
say over there so the other two notice as well?
So-
or like,
as Valtteri just
well, I'll do that.
as Valtteri says this, when you all turn
Over
around
there,
and
to
look
the left.
where she just pointed out, you can easily see this figure coming. Looks humanoid, most likely human, slowly walking toward the carriage. Of course, not the carriage, but the wagon. Of course, Eldon, you have seen many wanted posters in your life, so you can easily identify that this is what this person has in its hand.
Mm-hmm. There gonna be a problem here, sir?
Slowly walks, and then when he hears you say that, he stops and he looks at his hand. Well, this certainly makes things a lot easier. But he looks toward you, Eldon, and
How
says,
so?
I have nothing against you. You can leave if you want to. And I'll let your friend in the cart and the woman also leave if you want to. I'm here for the three others.
Talking about audience, Valtteri, and Fisher.
As you ask this question, he makes a small hand gesture. And he says, at the same time, why, yes. And as the moment he finishes his hand gesture, you hear this crackling energy about 20 feet in front of where you're all looking. And then you see this flash of light. A bit blinding, but not something that would cause the blinding status. When the light subsides, you see this large, shapeless, black form, shadowy, but pulsating, very large, around 10 feet wide. It is in front of all of you. It is slowly pulsing with bits of energy just separating from it, and as if there was a quantity of black tentacle inside, but just no, actually like looking at a solar flare, just emanating from it, disappearing, reabsorbing inside. And he walks at everyone else and says, you can leave. I won't tell it to kill you.
Ooh,
As he says that,
scary.
you hear Civ get up, look at all of you, and you hear him say, Krill, swords. He gives a good push on each side, and you see long, short sword size blue blades come out of his wrist, just a little bit above it. You see this blue energy gathering and then suddenly appearing as talon the size of short sword on each of his hand. He looks at you and says, protect her. This is a bit out of your league. He pushes off, jumping from the cart so strongly that the cart almost topples, and he jumps away from the cart, over the energy, and straight in front of the other figure.
Okay.
I quickly move to her.
I will move from the back as well and take a stance in front of her.
I'll tell her to.
She's
Hey,
not unconscious,
Selena,
but
hide in
she's
the
not
cart,
moving.
and I'll.
She is
start.
unconscious.
Oh no, she's frozen.
He's
She
frozen.
looks
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
unnaturally restrained.
Hmm.
Yeah, kind of figured.
God damn it, do I have anything?
The person itself
how close is that guy?
Roughly 60
Uh,
feet away.
Yeah.
The black mass of energy is 20 feet in front of you. And right now, Civ is directly
Okay,
in front
so-
of the person, and he is starting an attack on him.
I recognize this energy thing from
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Make an Arcana check.
stuff. Uh,
20. All right.
20.
You don't recognize this black mass in front of you. However, you remember hearing about this before. It's not a very well-known school of magic. The school itself is known, comes from summoning, but the person applying it is not a conjurer. You believe it is being referred to as a summoner, specialized in summoning fully grown, very dangerous creatures. So, while you have never heard about that thing, you're mostly sure it is a creature. Dangerous one, most likely. As when you watch Civ starting his attack on the mage, you see him block the attack with a variant of a shield spell. And then he starts casting again. What do you all do right now? Civ has engaged the mage.
With that shield,
I'm gonna do what he told me to do. I'm just gonna stand in front of the woman with my shield raised and my long sword, like in a
Alright.
defensive stance to protect her.
Eldon and Fisher.
Oh,
Go ahead, Fisher.
I was gonna say, like, skirt around away from the cart and them, and try and pull it / the mage's attention. I guess I'll
So you attack
cast firebolt.
who?
The mage.
Alright,
The
then.
summoner.
If you attack the summoner, we're gonna end the session here because next one is gonna start with your initiative as you engage the enemies in front.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Question: from where I stand, would Sif be in front of me, between the mage and me, or more to the side?
Slightly to the side. I'd say if you want to try and hit the mage with something that is an attack roll, the mage would be considered slightly covered. But if it's a spell that asks for a saving throw,
Okay.
yes, you can target it.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah.
Alright.
Eldon's just gonna
So
dart up and
as-
throw some daggers at him.
I was thinking of Moonbeam,
So as you
but
all get ready for this
Yeah.
battle, you all prepare, you are ready to attack, and like I said, we're gonna end this session here because I don't think that everyone can add half an hour to make a combat.
Uh,
I'm
like I
really
got-
awake, but I don't know how you're all feeling because it's a new morning for me.
It
The light is shining.
my kids ain't got school. Everything's shutting down, so I'm good to go. And like my kids are out of school for an entire month, and they're
Same
thinking about
here.
for the rest of the year too. I'm like, oh god.
Oh, you. My uncle has 3 little kids. Actually, he would have had 4 kids in his house because one of them, the oldest, has no corona. So he has 3 little kids in his house, and they can't go anywhere.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be fun. But yeah,
Audience
it's
and
up to
Fisher?
everybody else.
I mean, I'm
Audience,
good.
you seem
Um,
very tired.
Yeah.
I
Everybody
think
wants to
Sam
keep going. I can keep going.
Hey,
Sam is almost not there anymore.
I mean, I'll do it if everyone else is fine. I'll do it.
No, absolutely. There's
Hey,
no
man,
pressure.
no pressure.
If you think you can do it, then I don't mind doing the battle. It's going to be the last thing we do for this game session. If you don't feel up to it, it's going to be the first thing next session.
I'm fine. If everyone else wants to stay, we can do the battle.
You sure?
Yeah.
Because you look
Then,
really tired.
So if anyone
I'm okay.
is watching us,
Sam always looks
if you can, we're going to finish this session with a battle. So everyone will roll for initiative.
I rolled a 19, so it's for me a 20.
Wait, that's not what you want.
plus 4.
So it's an unnatural 20 for me.
I got a 19.
That's not what you want, Jay.
2.
Oh no.
Um,
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, I got a 4.
All right, so
Oh, good.
what a 4,
I did beat you though.
How does Sif looking?
2, Eldon with 19. And we
19.
get... Alright. So it does appear as though your assailant and Civ both beat you. Not by a lot, but still, they get to go first. So as a both, the mage has
Wait,
21
Civ or
and
the
Civ
mage?
has 24.
Ah, they both rolled natural 20? Oh, okay. Oh,
So
nice.
Civ goes
Get 'em,
first, and
Civ.
the first round of attack he does, like I said, is parried by what looks like a variant of a mage spell. However, there are a few differences, but one of the hit actually does manage to connect, and maybe the summoner doesn't seem to like it very much. However, on his turn, you see him look around and seems to have a look of desperation on him, and he reaches down in his robe, takes out a pearl, and just throws it toward the black mass of energy. And as you see this pearl, this small itty bitty pearl, go up in the air and over the creature, you see it start to grow, and then you see a energy tether go toward the creature, and the orb disappears. And the creature the creature gained his own initiative with a 10.
Okay.
And so the next one on the list is Valtteri. You've just witnessed this, and you notice that the black mass of energy 20 feet in front of all of you seems to be moving, even though that mage over there is using his attention to do something else. Yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
Because of fairy fire, it says that each object in a 20-foot cube with the outline,
Yeah.
and any creature has to do a dexterity save. And then you would have an advantage on attacking them. Would that also count? Would it also mean that my allies would also get that, and when the creature
What do you
attacks us, it has advantage?
Yeah.
Like, we get advantage on him because then he's glowing, but wouldn't that also mean that if we fail that, like if the others fail that, that dexterity throw, that the creature gets advantage on us, or can I choose that it's just the creature that is
I'm
kinda
just gonna
getting
look at how the
attacked
spell
with it?
says, but
You know
I
what I
believe
mean?
you can target someone.
Because it doesn't. Okay, because it doesn't say
everything in the area.
It's everything in the area, and if a creature fails the dexterity throw, it is glowing, but it doesn't say if we are also glowing, if the enemy attacks us, that it's getting advantage on us because of that spell.
Yeah.
Yes. He
Yeah.
would,
So when you
because
throw
it's
it,
advantage for
everything
anything
within
that is
the-
glowing.
Okay, damn it.
20 feet radius does have to make the dexterity, including party members. Yes.
Okay, then, other question. Can I, when I shoot my moonbeam at that creature, would it also, because the other two also behind it, hit
Sith and the
or
mage are
just
30
the
feet
mage?
behind the black mass of energy.
The range is
Yes, but it comes from
120
above, if I
feet
don't
long
if I remember
of the
correctly.
moonbeam.
Moonbeam.
Wasn't it coming from me?
Shines down in a 5
Moonbeam
foot
Shoots
radius,
down from the sky,
40
right?
foot high cylinder. So it comes from above.
Oh, okay.
Like it's coming from the.
Okay. Then I'll
At what?
shoot the moonbeam at it.
At the creature. Alright.
At the creature.
Constitution saving throw.
And it has to make a constitution saving throw. And
And I are going to bed now.
Alright.
Can you hear me? Yeah. Can I bring you anything?
No,
Constitution
thank you.
saving throw.
Why are you smiling? Allergies are
Yeah,
really bad.
alright.
Do you want to check?
it's
It rolled the
14.
17 just there, so it's above 20, 40. Constitution save.
So it only
Oh, it was
takes
fun
half
hearing
the
that.
damage, correct? Yes.
Yep.
It takes 2d10
Yep, go ahead.
radiant damage on a failed save, or half as much on a successful. I'm looking for my d10s right now. That is a d10.
Audience, the shadow has enveloped you. You disappeared.
6.
Yeah. My mom decided it'd be a good idea to just turn off the light as she left the room
Alright.
and close the door. So now I have no light.
So I rolled an
Yep.
18, and half of it would be 9. So it
Alright.
takes 9 damage.
No.
Oh wait, is it a shape changer? No. Okay.
Yeah, it starts in form, and then each turn cast a spell. You can use an action to move the beam. Okay. Alright. Yep.
Because it says a shape
No, it's
changer
not a
makes
sa-
it
it's not
saving
a-
throw with disadvantage.
It's not a shape-shifting feature. So you cast your spell, and the beam of light comes from the skies and just crash onto the creature. You see it pulsate a little bit, but takes the beam, fairly easily.
And then I kind of move
And
behind.
you go hide on the other side of the
like I
cart.
do that and kind of hide.
Which is easy enough to do. It's maybe 10 feet of your movement.
Yes.
Next is Eldon.
Okay, I'm gonna have to bonus action dash to get close enough within 20 feet, but I'm gonna hit the wizard with a dagger.
Well,
Stab.
if I'm not...
Yep.
what is the
So-
range? Alright, so the small one is 20 feet. Alright, 20 to 60.
20 to
You're
60.
20 feet away from that, so... And 30 feet. Alright, so... if you make a straight run to be in range... the creature will get an attack of opportunity. It is a large creature, so it is roughly 10 feet wide. You can do a small arc,
Okay.
but that means you're going to use all of your movement just to clear the creature.
Yeah, that's fine, because with my bonus action dash, I get to 50
Alright.
speed, so yeah, I can make the arc.
Alright, so you make the arc and you try and throw a dagger at the mage, is that it?
Yes, and with Civ right up
I'd
next
say
to
yes.
him, it would be sneak attack, correct? Okay, so that is 12.
18.
plus
Unfortunately,
6,
as you throw it,
18.
the shield spell is still active and it bounces off the shield.
Okay. As I want to put up my scarf in front of my face, so where I'm kind of
Yes!
hidden. It's like just pulls it up, just like
Disappears.
You can see me.
it's more of
Snake.
people noticing my face.
Mage doesn't have object permanence.
Yeah.
My turn. My turn. I'm gonna cover my eyes because if I can't see the enemies, they can't see me.
And it's the creature's turn first. So, well, with Eldon having tried to move around the creature, it unfortunately means that Eldon is the closest party member to the creature. So, Eldon, it attacks you.
Sorry.
And the creature starts moving
Okay.
rather swiftly toward you. So you moved a total of 30 feet, then you used your bonus action to make the cunning dash action, is that it? Did you move the entire additional 30 feet
Yep.
it gives you, or did you just stop so you would be just in range?
I would have been getting a little bit closer to help out Civ, seeing that
Alright.
the other three took up defensive
then
positions.
in that case, the creature moves toward you, like I said, rather swiftly, and tries to move in your space, which means you have to do a dexterity saving throw.
Okay.
16. It moves
10
to
plus
cut
6,
you
16.
off in front of you. Because you succeed your dexterity saving throw, you can try and push away from it, or you can let it enter your space and not move. You push away. Then in that case, you see it
I'll
coming
push
and
away.
you just pulls back a few feet, and you see the creature coming just in front of you. It did try to catch you as you were trying to move, but not an opportunity attack. Just it was trying to, well, basically shove you inside of it.
Okay. Yeah.
No.
So the next one on
That'd be
the
fun.
list is audience. You have just witnessed the creature trying to
Sam?
envelop
All right.
Eldon within itself.
It beat at rage me wanting to stay in front of the person I was told to protect, but also help out my friend. I
Alright.
will
The creature
use my
right
breath
now
attack on
is
it.
about 45 feet away from you.
How far from me? Alright, I will move up the 10 feet then, as that'll still kind of basically
Alright.
leave me
Go
and then
ahead.
use my breath attack. So it's a 30-foot range.
So it is a Constitution save.
Well,
Dex. Alright.
it just has to Dex DC 12 save.
It
has
is
to do
a
Dex.
DC what? DC 12. It fails.
DC 12.
Hmm.
So it'll take then 2d6. So that will be 5. 4. So it'll take
Right.
9 lightning damage.
So it takes the hit. You see its mass pulsating, and you can swear you hear a high-pitched sound as it gets hit by this attack. But it takes the hit very well, and it keeps on going.
And then again, I will take a defensive position. I'll actually
Alright.
move back the 10 feet
Next
and again take a
is
defensive
Fisher.
position. In front.
I think. How far away am I from
I believe you
the
said you
creature
went
right now?
on the other side of the cart when this battle started? Or did you stay in front of it?
I went like I was gonna try and go around the side of
Alright,
it to draw
well,
it
I'd
away
say-
from the cart.
Yeah, in that case, it's about 50, 60
So I'd be
feet
like-
away from you.
Okay. I'll move like
All right,
20 feet
go
up
ahead.
and cast Firebolt at it.
16 to hit.
16. Yeah.
It hits. Easily. You get the feeling that it is not a very agile creature. Ten. It takes the hit.
10 fire.
Very easily. Takes the hit. You see this pulsating energy inside of it as it absorbs the flame, and it feels like it was damaged, but not enough to make it react as if it was severely injured. And so we go back to... Yes, you... Yes?
I'll use my 10 remaining feet of movement to
Right.
get
So you
closer
move
to
10
the
feet.
mage.
In a straight line. Because the creature moved to try and intercept Eldon, you would have a clear path if you want to make a straight line. Alright. Then you move 10 feet closer.
Yeah. Then I'd go
So
straight
the
for me.
initiative goes back to the top of the round with Civ attacking the mage again. Again, the mage uses his variant of a shield spell, absorbing 1 hit. However, 2 of the hits, 2 of the attacks that Civ does do manage to connect, and the mage is actually really showing sign that he's not liking this, and he's even staggers from one of the hits slightly. However, on his turn, you see him look toward Civ, and he start casting something, and again you see another flash of energy beside the mage. But when this one subsides, you see a 20-foot high rock creature beside the mage, looking down at Civ. And the mage, giving a slight grin, moves away. It would have provoked an opportunity attack, but you see Civ looking at the large creature and fall into a defensive stance. Yes, I know it is out of turn, but he has that ability. And now Civ is in front of a 20-foot tall creature made of rock, and both of its hands seems to be, well, roughly 10-foot long clubs the size of tree stumps. And the creature places itself between all of you and the mage, slightly on the side, so it also will provoke an attack of opportunity if Civs try to go around it and attack the mage. And this one also gains an initiative, which is not a good one. Alright. So now we go to Valtteri. So you have this in front of you, which is something that you, since you are used to casting spells, you know is odd. It must have something to do with the pearl that he used. You don't know anyone capable of casting 2 summoning spells, because it has to be maintained to concentration. But nonetheless, you have 2 creatures now on the field. One who seems to be intent on attacking you, and the other one who seems intent on covering the mage and attacking Civ.
Can I do a wisdom roll to see if one of those creatures have a weakness against water?
I'd say, wow. I'd say you can make religion. No, I'd say Arcana. You can make an Arcana roll to see if you have ever heard about those creatures and maybe weaknesses.
That's a 17
so
plus
which one, are you
1 is an
looking
18.
At? The massive energy or the...
Well, it's kind of hard to
yes, but
oversee.
which one are you trying to figure out if it has weaknesses? The massive black energy or the giant stone monster? As far as you can tell, you've never seen anything like this. It looks made out of solid rock.
So water wouldn't do anything against it.
At least feels like it wouldn't have the added effect that you're hoping to have.
Okay. Then I have another plan.
Still have the moonbeam going, right?
Just keep on hurting someone or move it and attack something else.
I'll keep going with the
Alright.
beam on the shadow
It
creature.
is a Constitution saving throw. What is your
Constitution
DC?
14.
14.
14 is the
It
Constitution.
rolled a 15, plus its con save, it means it succeeds.
Damn it.
Yes.
So it's half the damage again. Oh, that's a 9 and that's a 7.
Eight.
So 16. So
Right.
8.
It takes the damage fairly well. It's starting to show signs that it's not liking it, but it is not showing signs of being severely damaged.
Question, I don't lose my second slot for second level spells when I keep
Exactly.
using
It
the
is a
moonbeam as a
concentration, and I
concentration
believe
thing, right?
It lasts for
Okay.
a minute. So unless
A
you lose
minute.
concentration, you can just keep on hammering someone with the moonbeam. Next one on the list is
Okay.
Eldon. You have this huge black creature in front of you who's tanking all of these attacks, moonbeams, fire spells, and you see this 20-foot high rock creature who has just assumed the role of, well, protecting the mage and attacking Civ.
Okay. How far away is that, the mage
It just moved
from me now?
maybe 5 feet more away from all of that, but you still within range.
Okay, so still within range.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is bonus action hide behind this large creature.
Yes, you can, because you're
I can do
halfling.
this. And I'm gonna and I'm going to throw my other dagger at the mage that's within range, so non-disadvantage. And
Yes,
I
and
need
I
to
would
roll a
also
stealth
have
check.
to say that because the creature is actually assuming, not the shadow creature, but the rock creature is actually assuming a defensive position in front of the mage, it would be like, I'd say, quarter cover.
Okay. So that's 14 plus 8,
All
so
right.
22 on my stealth.
Okay.
And now I throw my other dagger.
Go ahead.
Plus 6.
19.
19.
Fortunately, like I said, the shield spell is still active, and you
Oh, it's still
almost
active?
manage to
Dang.
circumvent
cast it
it,
again.
but you see the spell just lower itself slightly and cut off the dart just as it is about to go. You have a feeling that you didn't miss by much.
Yeah, no more dagger, so I'm going to back out of the, and I'm going to invoke
All right,
his
so you move
attack of
away from the shadow
opportunity on
creature.
me. Yeah. Yeah, towards the cart, and I will start to
All right.
pull out my
So
short
you
swords
move away,
from my
and
back.
yes, you do cause an attack of opportunity, and it attacks you. And fortunately for you, it attacks you with a natural 1. So you move away, and you just see this tentacle of black energy slam into the ground where you were half a second ago. Whew. And you just keep moving away.
That was close.
All right. So you move away for how much of your movement?
Let's see. I probably used 5 or 10 to get around and hide behind it.
All right.
So I'd have about 15 feet
All right.
left. So back towards the group. So I'm thinking I'd pass
Um,
Fisher.
No, actually, he didn't. Hold on. You're about. No, you
Wait,
didn't
no.
pass him, but
I
you're
kind of
within
figured I
10
was on
feet
that
of him,
other side.
if
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
counting this correctly.
Okay.
Sorry, I was right before the stream. I was working on rebuilding my map overlay for a fight. Unfortunately, I had to choose between emptying my bowels and finishing the map. Bathroom won. So.
It's all right.
All right. So you move back, and well, it's the creature's turn. And yes,
Just had the flashback of our last
brain,
conversation
yes.
about pee. Yes.
A very interesting conversation about how to make other people understand certain things. So you move away, avoid the attack of opportunity. Unfortunately, since you are the only thing in range, it's going to try and attack you again. And again, it's going to try and just shove itself on you, so you have to make another dexterity save. Eldon. Again, you succeed your
17 plus
save,
6.
so you can let it overtake you or push away. So you move back.
I'll push away.
5 feet, and you manage to avoid the creature enveloping you. Next one is the giant, who is starting to try and wail away at Civ as hard as he can. First attack, second attack. The first attack, Civ is a pretty sturdy fellow. However, the blow literally hits him square on, but at the last minute, he managed to pull his sword in a cross shape in front of him, and he blocks the blow, but is hit with so much force that he is pushed back 10 feet, leaving behind him and in front of his feet grooves as he is pushed back. The second blow, however, does not connect. Civ managed to avoid the hit. It slams the ground extremely hard. Hard enough that I'd say Valtteri and Eldon, when you hear the rumble of the hit on the ground, you sort of have this moment of, if I'd been there, I'd be a pancake right now.
Yeah, sounds like me.
And we keep on going down the initiative to audience. Audience, this shadow creature seems to be hell-bent on absorbing Eldon. You see Fisher is not far from Eldon. Unfortunately, all this has made the creature move closer to the cart. On the background, you do see Civ. He is so far seemingly managing to hold his own against a mage and a very large creature. What do you do?
I will
Yes.
move to the nearest target, which would be the shadow creature. As I still feel like I can do my best job to protect from there, and all the
Because it
other
has
enemies
moved
are
closer
engaged
to the
as of
cart,
the
you
moment, so I'll move to
can
that creature and
make
try
your
and
way
hit it.
to it without having to expend an action to reach it.
Yes. Also that. I will try to hit it. 17 plus.
And your attack roll is?
Oh. So
It does hit easily. You also get the
17
feeling
plus
that it is
7,
not
so
an agile
24.
creature.
Alright. I will then use one of my spell slots to cast Divine Strike,
Go ahead.
adding an extra 2d6 of radiant damage. So then that's going to be 1d8. 1d8. Which is... Where's my 1d? Here it is. So 8 plus... Okay, 8 physical damage and 5 radiant damage.
All right. It takes the hit. It is start. Sorry?
Unless it's a fiend, because then I can roll again, but...
Wait, isn't
Oh, wait,
Smite-
it's in... Wait,
All right.
Smite's
D8.
2d8. Yeah, no.
Not
So
I
the
did
physical
that
strike,
wrong.
you don't
Yes,
need to
I did
re-roll
that
it, but
wrong.
the...
No. Nope. Alright, that's gonna be...
And the physical
Okay,
strike
so
was...
actually 10. 10 radiant damage.
Alright.
5,
Alright.
so 15
It
damage in total, 5 of
takes
it.
the hit, and you get a feeling that you've probably hit something important inside the creature as it recoils a little bit, and you hear very easily now this high-pitched shriek of the creature. It recoils a little bit, and you see the tentacle of black energy starting to move a little bit more frenetically for a moment, and then it's regain its composure, but it's starting to feel like it is not liking this fight.
Okay.
Go away, Cthulhu.
All right, now we have. Yeah.
I will then, I then will
Right.
again take
Fisher.
a defensive stance. That's my turn.
It is now literally 15 feet away from you. The black creature. The huge rock creature is 40 feet away from you.
That pearl that the wizard threw at the shadow
Yes,
energy
it did.
creature, did it disappear?
It grew about the size of an apple and seemed to tether itself to the creature, and it just phased out.
I will run up to the energy creature
Alright, go
and
ahead.
attack it with my great axe.
To hit,
12.
it hits. It is not an
Yeah.
agile creature.
Hey. For
12 physical.
12 physical
Yes, slashing damage.
slashing.
Alright, again, it recoils from the hit. It does feel like it is starting to be on the losing side of the battle. Alright. Do you do anything else? Alright. So we go back to the top of the
Nope.
initiative with Civ, who is unleashing the full brunt of his smite on the rock creature in front of him. It's hits. All 3 attacks he does hits the creature, and he is carving pieces out of the creature. Well, this one is a small piece, but that's a nasty piece. That's a really nasty piece. So he is really carving away at the creature, and you see one of the leg buckle on the one of the hit. The creature does fall on his knees. He gets back up, but he just keeps swelling on him, and he is doing a lot of damage. Very nimbly and very agile. The creature responds by attacking him also. First blow just go pass right over him. He easily managed to dodge it. The second one, however, does hit him, and sorry. It's a good hit, but it doesn't feel like Civ is even starting to notice this kind of damage. And we go to Valtteri. Yes.
From the moonbeam where it was, is the mage near it, like less than 60 feet?
So it can...
Before the shadow creature
no,
moves
60
around.
feet would be in range of the beam if you want to move it.
Okay, then I'm gonna move the
All
beam
right.
at
So
the
you
mage.
move the beam toward the mage, and it is a Constitution saving throw. What is your DC?
Constitution.
14. He unfortunately managed.
14.
He unfortunately succeeds it as he rolls a 10 with his modifier. It does go over 14.
Damn it. So it's half the damage again.
18.
That's a 10.
The mage is starting to. The mage is starting to show that
So
he
9
is
damage.
injured, not liking the fight, and probably reconsidering keep on going.
And I lightly move, like I'm still inside of everything, but I'm moving closer to the lady, still bound to. But I'm keeping my concentration in front of what is
It is your turn, and you have this huge shadow creature in front of you who is starting to show wear and tear. It is injured as best as you can understand its anatomy.
Okay. And audience is still
Yes.
in melee with it. Cool. So I'm gonna try and hit it with my
Go
short
ahead.
sword that I finished taking out. 7 plus 6.
No, it hits.
13
As
probably
I said,
misses.
It is not an agile creature.
I hit it with
Okay.
a 12 earlier.
It is a tanky creature,
Sweet.
not an agile one.
So with a sneak attack, that will be 15 points
Alright.
of damage. And then I will go for my
Right,
second
you do have the
strike.
feeling that whatever you just did when you hit with your sneak attack, it hit something probably akin to a vital organ for that kind of creature. But it is still alive, but it is showing heavy sign of
Cool.
fatigue and, well, having a hard time keep on going. Go ahead, make your second attack. Does hit.
12 to hit. Okay, 1d6 plus 4, another 9 on top of that.
All right. It is really showing signs that this fight is not something he cares to finish. However, he seems to be bound by something. And we have the creature, who is really pissed at you because you cause a lot of damage to it, so it's gonna attack. Straight up attack you. With a natural 20.
It's okay.
Maybe not okay.
And it'd be nice if I had that uncanny dodge right now.
So it hits you for 18 points of damage, of necrotic damage.
Ooh.
You get slammed by one of the
Ouch.
tentacles
Ouch.
square on.
Okay.
And this didn't feel good at all.
Indeed, it did not.
So, next on the list is the huge rock creature. Trying to, again, attack Civ, but neither of its attack hits. No, actually, I got it. Alright, no, sorry. I got it upside down. The creature had already attacked. It is audience's turn.
So,
All right.
I started going up in my
I
initiative
will hit the creature.
column, so yeah, no, that's not supposed to. All right.
I will hit the creature.
All right.
I will not divine smite it though. 'Cause I think it's gonna... So I will hit it for 8 plus 8, 9, 10.
13
So
damage.
8 plus 5, so 13 damage, physical damage.
It is showing signs of fading life. The shrieks you've been hearing from the damage are starting to grow dimmer and dimmer, and the movement of the creature seems to be slowing down. It is not long for this world.
Alright.
And then we finish with Fisher.
I will attempt to finish it off with my great axe. With a
Does hit.
9 to hit.
It has a very low armor class.
Nice.
It has a 6.
like what, 2? Oh, okay.
9 damage.
9 damage.
It is still standing, but not liking it. It just keeps slowing down and slowing down.
In that case, I'm going to
All
action surge
Go ahead.
and hit it again.
It does hit.
12.
6
That
points
is
of
going to
damage.
be a 6.
It is still holding up. But it feels like it is no longer hovering toward all of you. It feels like it is crawling toward you.
Aw. Kind of feel bad about it. Because it kind
Well,
of doesn't
that's a
want
good- that's
to
a
do
good
this,
thing,
but it has
Because we start the initiative
wait.
again, and you get Civ attacking the giant rock creature. Hitting. The rock creature is also showing signs that it is not liking this fight. It is starting to buckle. Just how much does it buckle? Not much for this one, but this one actually does hurt a lot. It is starting to buckle, and you do notice that the mage is most likely considering retreating from the fight. It is starting to cast a spell which
Okay.
you do not recognize. But it does not finish the casting this round.
Well, still have my
Alright.
moonbeam on it.
So
Or him.
it succeeds again by rolling a 15 on the dice plus bonus.
But wouldn't he be distracted while doing the...
Well, this is going to be a
Spell?
Constitution save to see if you lose the spell.
Okay.
Doesn't mean he will.
Damn it. Yeah. 6, and that's a 7. 6 and 7 of 13.
He
What
takes
do we
the
have
damage,
of 13?
but he does stumble a bit, looks toward you with a very grave scowl on his face. However, he does manage to hold the spell. You do not see the spell, the energy gathering in his hand, fizzle out.
Damn it.
And we go to Eldon.
Okay.
All right.
I'll finish off this creature in front of me.
How often did we hear that now?
Well, with the initial
6
roll,
plus
you hit.
6. Yep. So, allies
Oh wow!
sneak attack. So that will
18
be
damage.
a
How do you
18
want to finish this
damage.
fight?
Noticing that the mage is getting ready to cut and run, I'm just gonna take out my short sword real quick and just make a quick slice, and then I'm gonna dart towards the mage.
Well,
I don't know how far away he is.
Well,
yes,
there's
there is a huge rock creature which could trigger an attack of opportunity if you try and go melee on it. But if from where you are, about 40 feet.
Yeah, because
If
we
you
were
want
kind
to
of
do a
offset.
straight line to him.
40 feet. Yeah, I'll bonus action dash. And that'll give me 50
Right.
feet so I can get around the rock creature. Okay. Yeah, so I get right up to
You know that
right
you
up in
hear
his
the
grill.
grinding of your chair. So.
Oh, sorry.
So, but what about the shadow creature? Is there any way you want to end this?
Oh,
All right.
I wanted the blade just to be like, as I'm running, I
Alright.
put it out and just cut through it
Yeah, that's easy enough.
as I
to do.
just push
You
forward.
just start darting around the creature, take your blade and slash whatever you hit just before, as it seemed to be something important, and you see the energy of the creature starting to pulse slowly and slower and slower and dissipate. And as it dissipates, you do see this little pearl appearing in front of it and shatter. And it just disappears.
Okay.
Evaporates. Alright, and so you move toward the mage. So do you get as
Yep.
a melee with it?
Yep, I get a
Right.
melee with it. Mm-hmm.
Alright. So the shadow creature doesn't have anything to do. Oh, shit. Alright. So the shadow creature isn't there anymore. So this means it's the rock creature who will receive the instruction to defend its master. So it is going to make two attack against you. With a 24 to hit and a 20 straight 20 to hit. Yes.
To me? Does he move out of Sid's range for his attack of
Turn of
opportunity?
the creature. It is not an attack of opportunity. He just moved and squashed you with a 10-foot reach.
Oh, yeah, that hits me, and
All right.
that hits hard.
So from the first blow, you take 8 hit points of damage, of bludgeoning damage, and from the second blow, you take
Ooh.
13 points of bludgeoning damage. So the second
I'm asleep.
hits you square on.
Taking a
The
quick
second hit
battlefield
hits you
map.
square on, and
Yep.
you fall unconscious on the ground. Fortunately, it only has 2 attack per round, meaning it does not triggers an automatic fail for your save. However, Valkyrie, audience, and Fisher, you realize that Eldon has just fallen in battle, receiving a hit from a mace the size of a 100-year-old oak tree. However, as this happens, well, no, actually, the mage is on the next round. So, audience, you have a round.
I have a round? Okay. Seeing my companion fall in battle, I will run up to the rock creature and also hit it, even
well,
though I don't think it's
actually, you
necessarily
are-
going to do much.
45 feet away.
Oh, how far am I from the
So
rock?
you won't even get to attack it. If you
Oh. I will not then, because that'll be a mistake. I will.
the
What
fight is
can I
almost
do?
over. Don't worry. I know we're 1 hour over time, so that's alright.
Yeah, sorry.
Any other actions I can do? Use my
Throw your
breath
longsword.
weapon. I could do that.
Alright.
I will channel divinity. So I'll move within 30 feet of Adon, and I will use channel divinity, turn the tide. As a bonus action, each creature of your choice within 30 feet. So all my companions regains 1d6
Alright.
plus 2 HP.
Roll for the HP refill.
Alright, so that's gonna be 6
So, Eldon,
HP.
you wake
Everybody
up with a-
regains 6 HP.
Interesting.
Also, if anyone else was hurt, I actually don't know.
No,
if
the
anyone else
creature
was
spends most of his time
Not me.
trying to envelop Eldon, so he's really the only one who got the brunt of it.
Tank rogues.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's Fisher's turn?
Okay. I will. I'll cast.
The rock creature is 45. No, actually, you walked a bit closer, so you'd be within your 30 feet of movement if you want to go melee.
Okay.
The wizard
how far is the wizard?
behind the creature. You
behind the
would have to
creature.
go far beyond your 30 feet of movement if you want to arc past the creature, as you have seen it having a 10-foot reach and itself being a large creature. That adds up for a lot of reach.
Mm-hmm. And the wizard's still trying to concentrate on casting something?
Probably teleport or something.
I will try and interrupt that by casting
Okay.
Toll the Dead on him. That's a whiz save of
Wisdom
12.
save of 12.
Really?
He fails by rolling a 2.
Yeah.
Yes, he does.
He has taken damage, right?
Yes, he has.
Mm-hmm. Yes, from me. Moonbeams,
Indeed.
baby.
Yeah.
He takes
Alright,
7.
he takes the damage and
Necrotic
nearly falls to his knees with that damage. He is seriously injured.
Is he not
Well,
able
he
to
won't
cast the spell
be
now
sure
anymore?
until his turn, but it does feel like he might have lost the spell.
Okay.
And then I'll move. I'll move up to the
Okay.
stone giant thing.
So he did take he attacked, so
So-
he didn't take the attack of opportunity. No, you just move up toward him, so it's not an attack of opportunity. All right, so we go back to Civ, who. Oh, it's not a very good.
Actually, can I make it in between the stone giant and
Yes.
Eldon? Eldon? Yeah.
Yes,
Or-
very
or
easily.
Arg's name.
He fell. The monster moves a bit.
Okay,
Right.
yeah, then I'll
So you
kind
move
of situate
to
myself there.
act as a shield for poor Eldon. All right. So Civ's attacks the rock golem, not rock golem, but the rock creature. And well, he hits him once, and the creature topples over, nearly destroyed. And you see, right after that, you see the mage taking his turn. You see the energy fizzle out of his hand, and he looks mad at all of you. And you reach down inside one of his pouches. I wasn't paid enough for this. And he breaks an orb in his hand. And as soon as he breaks it, you hear a... And he disappears. You see the rock golem crumble to pieces. And the battlefield falls silent.
Can I quickly go check on... I keep forgetting her name.
Iselina. Iselina. I-S-S-E-L-I...
Easily.
Right.
I will never remember it. I
Alright.
just called a half-elf woman.
So yes, you run to her, see if she's all right. She still seems under the influence of a paralysis spell, but otherwise unharmed.
And after that, I'll go check on Orina if she's alright. I don't know if she was still staying
No,
on my
you didn't feel her
shoulder
on
while
your
all of that happened.
So
But if not,
yeah.
okay, then I'll just check
well-
around if I can feel her nearby.
I'm gonna reassure you. You do manage to find her. You feel her, so you know she's alive. You do not know exactly where she is, but she's alive. And so we're going to finish this session here because I have a
Perfect.
feeling that at least one member is going to fall asleep within the next 15 minutes. So thank you all for those who decided to wait to see the end of the battle. This group is stronger than I anticipated. The battle was supposed to be harder.
It was frustrating that the creatures kept getting
The
my
creature
Constitution saving
was
throw.
within the family
yeah.
of ooze, so it had a very high constitution.
I don't know what it means. Yeah, but the mage as well. Come on. Like,
Things happen.
since when do
The
mages
creature,
have a high constitution?
he just had a very high constitution. I even rolled very low at one point, but it was enough to cover the roll. The mage was just lucky. I
Yeah.
don't think that I rolled below 16 for any of his save. And if you want to know, Eldon, his AC with the shield was 20. So when you got 19, you almost got it in.
Oh.
That's
Oh, that would have changed
Like I
up
said.
the entire battle. If I would have gotten that sneak
Like
attack
I said,
off, it
you
would
are
have
a
been like,
stronger group than
it
I
would've been over.
anticipated. I will have to make the modification for the future.
oh no.
the problem with playing a brave character is they jump
Alright,
into the
so
middle
for
of
those
everything.
watching, thank you very much for watching. We hope you enjoyed the show. I am working on trying to add some music to this, but it is more challenging than I anticipated. And hopefully next time I will have finished rebuilding the map overlay for battles, so you will be able to at least see what is happening and make sure that I do not make a mistake when I'm counting feats in the battle. So, thank you for everyone. If you want to support us, you can always support us morally by following or becoming a subscriber on Twitch, on YouTube, and if you want to support us financially, as this at one point will have to cover its own cost, I would extremely appreciate it. You can always help us through Patreon or make a donation. All of the links are just below the window if you're listening to us on Twitch. So, thank you all and see you all next Wednesday. Bye.
See ya. More shenanigans to come.